Hey guys, it's Kim here, and I have Becky once again, and we're going to be doing, because this is a month of Halloween, the spooky month, the spookiest month, and we're going to be making spooky Halloween stuff. What are we doing today, Rebecca?
Today, oh god, that felt unpleasant. Today we are going to be making potion bottles, or a potion bottle. We're going to be making a nebula in a bottle, essentially. But I think it looks like all sorts of things. So it can be a potion, it can be a galaxy, depends what colours you use, I guess, in a bottle to decorate your house for Halloween. So yeah.
What are the materials list that you will need to make this bottle?
You will need a bottle or jar of some description. You will need some cotton wool balls. You will need some paints. I'm using acrylic, but lots of people use like pouring acrylics for this, or poster paints would work, or if you were really dedicated you might be able to use watercolors, but you're going to have to get them pretty thick. We've got some glitter, unessential but fun. I might put in some mica powder just because I happen to have some left over, but this is not essential again. And there we will need a glue gun if you want to do snazzy things later. I've got some paper and some rub and buff and a pen for doing a fancy label too.
What is rub and buff?
Rub and buff is a metallic polish to make things look pretty.
Okay, what can I use if I don't want to buy specialist ingredients?
Paint, pen, anything, bit of Sharpie. Like, these are not essential. This is just, you know, you will need a bottle, cotton balls and paint and water. I've got some water somewhere. So those are your essentials. Bottle, cotton balls, paint. Okay, so first things, if you'll want to, with your bottle, you'll want to clean your bottle. If you have a bottle that's like a plastic bottle, like a juice bottle, or one of my favorites for potion bottles is like soy sauce or teriyaki sauce, like bottles. They've got nice bobbly shapes to them. They're really fun. But I found this glass bottle actually after I'd done my tutorial. Is my camera now the other way up?
Oh yeah.
That's the thing that's happened.
Carry on.
Carry on. I found this glass bottle actually after I'd done all my potion bottles that I'd gone like and collected recycled bottles for ages. So I thought today I'd use this glass bottle. But first thing you want to do is get any labels off. So peel them off or soak them overnight in warm water. And then to get the last of the stickiness or like any dust or dirt off, makeup wipes are really good for this. And they're really good at getting sticky bits off glasses, bottles, plastic, or you know those labels that get stuck are on new shoes when you buy them? They're really good for getting those off.
Weird.
Yeah.
I just boil it in hot water.
Yeah, that also works.
Good for sterilising your jars if you're making chutney.
Yeah, you don't need to sterilise these ones. This is very kind of, you're not going to be drinking this. Don't drink the potion. If you want to make drinkable potions, there's lots of things online for drinking, drinkable potions.
There is a lot of things online for
drinking. There are a lot of things online for drinking, but that's something else. Okay, so we have a nice clean bottle. There we go. I have 4 pots in front of me because I'm going to use 4 different sort of shades of colour. So I'm going to use some black and some. I'm going to go for a greeny kind of coloured potion. I think like a swirly green.
So is this like the colours that the actual liquid is going to be like?
Yes. So this is basically whatever colours you want to have in your jar. You want to prep like little tubs of them, and we're going to make these very watery mixes. So how much paint you put in will depend on what paint you're using and how intense you want the colours. But if you want them to not look that diluted when they're watery, you want them to still look quite intense colours because we want intense colours. Okay, so we've got 4 pots of quite wacky colours now. I think these 2 greens are my favourite. They look lovely and Halloween spooky.
Green, the one looks like yellow. It looks like pea yellow.
That one.
It looks like you know when you have like one of those vitamin C drinks and then you pee it out. It looks like that.
It is called yellow green. So that is an accurate colour description there from our teaser. But yeah, the black is a bit lackluster just because black, when watered down, it often goes a bit thin. If you had something like an ink that would probably work really well, like a black ink. But the reason for the water will become clear. So our next step is to start filling our jar with some cotton wool. This jar has a very small neck, so I've got a poking stick. If you had like a nice wide jar like the gold one up there as a coffee jar, that would work really nicely because you could really lay this down and get things nice and spread. But you also do want to pull out your cotton wool a bit, just so it's not like clumpy, clump little individual bubbles that you can see, because that's
obviously cotton wool.
Yeah, you don't want it to look like, hey, look, we put some cotton wool balls, and they're just cotton wool balls. So basically, you want to create this in layers. So for a start, we're just going to create a bottom layer of random bits of cotton wool.
Is this going to look like snot or something?
I mean, I'm hoping not. Someone's saying the snot yellow-green one. I'm hoping it will all kind of blend together in a bit of a better... Well, it is Halloween. Like, it does need to be a bit gross, right? I didn't want this to be like a beautiful one. I wanted this to be a bleh one.
I do hate it when people make Halloween stuff look, really nice and cute. And I'm like, no, Halloween is gross and disgusting and gory and weird and fucked up. So,
And that's how it should be.
Exactly.
And now I'm going to attempt to pour from a non-pouring tub. If you've got pouring tubs, use pouring tubs.
Could you use a funnel?
Yeah, if you owned a funnel.
Have to wash it every time.
I don't own a funnel.
Oh, you did fine though. Look at that. That's fine.
So the idea is with this is to just soak that layer of cotton wool. So this is probably my black. I might need to add a bit more water here. But luckily I've got a whole jug of water over there.
Okay. So you just want to soak, and then depending on what colours that you use, is it that you want to use the darkest one on the cotton wool? Use the darkest one first.
I mean, it's entirely up to how you want your bottle to look in the end.
Okay.
So you can we're going to really play with this, and we might mix up some more black to add in later. But that's going to basically be my first layer.
Okay, you need to hold it up higher. There you go. Yeah.
There's some nice saturation at the bottom there. There's still some bits coming through, which will sort of soak up a bit of the black, but we'll also get a bit of whatever the next colour is I put on as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
So we're going swirly. It's going to be fun, I promise. So what you'll start to see here is that as we put in more cotton wool, bits of the black will soak up. Mm-hmm. So into that layer. So you'll get it kind of saturated a lot at the bottom and then less as we go up and up. Mm-hmm. And then when we add the other colour, those will kind of blend together.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess you sort of want to kind of get each layer a bit irregular because you don't want it looking like too layered. You want to kind of, build a bit of weird shaping into this if you can. This is hard with a bottle that's not that open and cotton wool that is now sticking to my poking stick. So I've got a nice irregular weird shape which will sink down when it gets wet, but just sort of so it's not like exactly layered. And you can see now we've got like this thick black line at the bottom, but this is really grey coming up the sides. It's starting to look a bit swirly. I'm going to try and add some glitter, but I'm not sure how well this will go because of the neck of the bottle. Like, it might just land all in the middle. But if you are using, like, a large jar, then you can really, like, shake glitter around, and it just makes it more pretty. If in doubt, always make things more pretty.
I thought we were going for gross, because it's Halloween.
Yeah, but
pretty gross.
Gross and sparkly, come on.
Yeah, true that.
That's just, like, extra gross. That's like sparkly snot. Come on. Who doesn't love that bit? Put a bunch in there and kind of try and swizzle it around.
So just notice that you're adding another colour there. So is there any kind of like use a darker colour for the second layer, or like is it literally just use whatever colours you fancy?
Use whatever colour. So I think I'm going to use this darker colour, then I'm going to go light, and then I might mix up some more of this because I really like this colour and go back to that. But it's just really, you want to really saturate the cotton wool. So I am going to need more than these 4 pots because there's just not enough liquid here. But yeah, some of it's going to sink down to the bottom, some of it's going to lighten up at the top. It's going to be really interesting.
Can you hold it up to that bit there? There we go.
So yeah, you see some of it's catching on there, some of it's sinking down. It's going to be fun. And it is a really gross green colour, which is exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, perfect.
It just felt very Halloween-y, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. That is my my colour palette.
I mean, this is looking so lovely right now, isn't it? Look at that. That's great. That's super Halloween. I mean,
like
if you really wanted to be...
brains.
If you really wanted to go like full on, you could just like add like an orange layer just to make it really super gross. We're not going to do that.
So you're adding water to this later?
No, so the water, basically the water is going in as part of the like watered down paints, and that's sort of what's compressing the cotton wool and creating those real layers.
Got it. See, I was confused because of the water in the bottles behind you.
Yeah, I mean, all different methods. This is, you know, if you want to see how to make those, you got to join up to the Patreon. I didn't feel right giving away secrets that basically people have paid for. I have black ink cartridges because I'm wondering if I could just get like a properly dark layer in there, because the black at the bottom's really gone quite muted.
So is the idea that you're soaking the cotton wool enough that it just doesn't look like cotton wool anymore?
Yes, basically. The cotton wool, it sort of helps provide the layers and the swirliness look. Swirly look to it.
Yeah.
So it's giving it that kind of structure without looking like cotton wool.
Yeah.
So yeah, and if you put other things in this, like if you've got glitter and you've got a wide mouth jar and things, it will look really, really fun. Mm-hmm. And depending on what colours you use, like you could go really dark, you could go purpley, you could go... There's lots of liquid to soak up. Ha 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 ha! Look at that.
Nice. Yeah. Your top camera's frozen a little bit, but carry on.
We'll keep going.
Awesome. Will you smush the cork down so that goes properly like down?
Yeah, I will. So I am now heating up my glue gun because I am going to glue seal this shut. I am also going to create some nice... You know, if you have a wax seal on like a bottle of wine, you have like wax strips down the side. So we're actually going to probably custom this bottle and add another cork on top that will be like the feature cork, and this cork will actually seal in. So
what is this? What is this a potion of, do you think?
I don't know. If anyone's got any snake's blood, I don't know. Just snakes in my head. Snake's blood is that color. Great thing if you don't have a cork. Tin foil and then some hot glue will seal up a jar quite nicely. Or collect corks from other bottles of wine, this is a bottle of this is actually not a bottle of prosecco. This is a bottle of champagne that we got given for our wedding.
Mama, we fancy here.
We fancy, but what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut this cork down too, so that it's just the bit that's going in the bottle, and then I'll use this as a topper for it.
Right, yeah.
So I just want that. I don't want that top bit. I just want that little bit, I think. This is what I do. I end up messing with corks so much. I use like 5 corks to do my potion bottles. I'm going to glue this shut now.
Okay.
So I'm just going to, because I've taken the lid off this, I'm just going to push this down with the stick so that I can hot glue gun it without like burning my fingers. Mm-hmm. So we're going to push down and we're just going to hot glue around the edge.
Can you use regular PVA glue and the children's glue? Not glue made of children, but you know, the glue that you use for like children's crafts.
Super glue would probably be best for this. Like something that's quite a permanent glue. Like, because unless you don't fill up your bottle all the way, but because for this, there's quite a lot of pressure going on right now. It really needs a quick curing.
Glue.
That's the words.
Quick
dry, strong glue.
Yeah. Quick glue.
So yeah, something like a super glue. But yeah, if you don't want to fill it, if you want to use like safety glue, or you want to be able to like, you're never going to be able to reuse the bottle. Just accept that.
Quick set.
But yeah, you could glue it with PVA or something, as long as there wasn't like, you weren't filling it up right to the top, which is fine. Like if you weren't filling it up to the top, I'd fill water to cover all the rest of the cotton balls, so you couldn't see those as distinct cotton balls, and it looked like potiony on top. So yeah, we're just standing here with the stick for a minute while this dries. We're going to create some nice wax drops around the bottleneck, kind of like I've got here.
Yeah.
Now, if you have bought coloured wax or coloured glue for your glue gun, you can do this immediately. If you haven't, you can do it with normal glue gun and then paint it. So don't worry about getting coloured glue gun, but it will make your life easier if you say have some. I have black, but for my old glue gun, which is not the same size as this one, which is slightly annoying. Oh, Kim, you can have some black glue if you want. You never know. It's useful.
Cheers.
Yeah. Nope, that's started leaking. That's good. But yeah, we're going to do basically this effect.
Mm-hmm.
And the best way to do this is to take your bottle, take your glue gun, start at the top and squeeze out a lot, and then just naturally let it dribble down. And you'll end up with, well, it will drip exactly like wax drips. Like that drips exactly as wax would drip, because it's essentially the same as molten wax. It behaves in exactly the same way. It's really hard to see right now because it's clear wax on a clear jar. But I'm going to essentially do that all the way around the edge. Look at that.
That's looking good. Nice.
Creepy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think next is we need a spooky, creepy label for this.
Okay. I liked ectoplasm. I thought that was a good shout.
Ectoplasm.
Like
Okay,
boiled
we're gonna
ectoplasm,
have
distilled essence of ectoplasm, organic ectoplasm.
organic ectoplasm. What's terrible about this is that I'm terrible at lettering, so this is going to be the worst part of the whole thing. But I'm also going to teach you some techniques to make the label look fancy. This is my little label, what's going to be my label. And what I've done is I don't know if I can actually show this off. I'm going to try and hold this off. So I've just drawn a little design on it. And what I'm going to do is that's not blown out. There we go. You can sort of see that. I've drawn a little design. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this design in glue from my glue gun. So I'm just going to try and copy, probably some of the teardrops are not going to work unless I had a thinner nozzle on my glue gun. But I'm just going to draw these out with my glue gun, and then we'll do something fun and snazzy with it. Actually, what I'm going to do first, I lied, I'm going to do something else first. I've got a tea bag here. I'm just going to tea stain this paper so that when I actually do come to draw on it, it will look old and a bit grim. We're really going for grim today, aren't we? Quite grim. Oh, Falconian, you're a genius. Falconian has said, could you maybe use the poking stick to pull on the glue to make the teardrop shape? That's a brilliant idea. Where is my... So what I'm going to do with this now I've done my design out in glue gun is I'm just going to do a kind of black wash around the outsides of it. And this will get exciting in a minute, I promise.
Becky, what the hell are you doing to that piece of paper? What have you done?
So I've painted this black, just around the edges, and I've scuzzied up the middle just to make it look old and gross. And I'm just now scuzzying up the edges with this piece of sandpaper, just getting in between the decoration that I've done with glue gun. So
define
in a minute,
scuzzying up. That's a very technical term you're using there, scuzzying up. For those among us.
Making stuff look shit.
Okay, there we go.
I'm just going to go back in with my black and go over the edges a bit so they're all black, and then we'll just pull out that detailing with some rub and buff, which is a metallic polish, and then we'll name our bottle and stick it on. Yeah, this is quite a rough one, but that sort of goes with the Halloween look. But yeah, you could get some really nice, you could go really ornate and kind of metallic with your details.
Yeah.
And really make something... I mean, I quite like this because it does look a bit weird and spooky. And yeah, this is fun. You could do signs like this if you're having a Halloween, socially distanced garden party. You could do edges around big signs like this to make it really kind of fancy. Like this way to Halloween, spook season, whatever, Okay, guys, you ready? Ha 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 ha.
Hey! That looks amazing. So what does it say? Venom of
Newt.
Ah.
That's what we've got on there. So that is how you make a spoopy bottle.
Nice.
And yet there's loads more you can do. Like you can actually use like acrylic paint to really rough up the bottle and make the bottle look old, or make the bottle look cobwebby or kind of dirty. Like that's quite fun. If you bought crackle glaze, when I was raving about crackle glaze, you could even put cracks into your bottle, so it looked like it was cracking from the outside. And the if you had a spirit trapped in there, you could have it like the spirit was about to creep out.
Yes, like a what's the word? Like splinters in the glass.
Yeah. Thanatos 24601 saying, do newts have venom? They do now.
Yeah. Magic newts. Evil newts.
Magic newts. I sort of like, I like the idea of having something that doesn't really exist on my shelf.
Yeah.
It's quite... So yeah, that is a basic idea of what you can do with this. As we said, you could put little skulls in this, you could put little body parts, you could do way more like detail with the label.
For those who don't know, Amazon sell tiny little plastic organs.
Yeah, so that's a thing that exists.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really want to see, like, I know some people have followed along and done some of the crafts and they've been great to see, but I would love to see a bunch of these this month in like different designs, and see what you guys can come up with, because you're a creative bunch.
Yeah.